Welcome to the BI channel, powered by B.I.M Corporation. This is the strategic business podcast built for executives, entrepreneurs, analysts, and anyone who has to make real decisions with imperfect information. Our promise is simple. We help you turn data into direction, intelligence into strategy, and insight into measurable performance. If you've ever stared at a dashboard and thought, okay, but what do I do with this? You're in the right place. Because information is everywhere. Clarity is not. And in fast-moving markets, the cost of hesitation is often higher than the cost of being slightly wrong and learning fast.
And that's the tension, right? Leaders are told to be data-driven, but they're also told to move quickly, inspire confidence, and make decisions before the data is complete. So today we're going to bridge that gap with practical frameworks, not theory.
Here's how we'll structure this episode. First, why most organizations end up data-rich and decision-poor. Second, a simple method to translate intelligence into an actual strategy. Third, how to measure whether the strategy is working without waiting for next quarter's results. And along the way, we'll bring in leadership psychology, because the biggest barrier to insight is often human behavior.
Let's start with the problem. Most teams don't lack data. They lack agreement. Agreement on what matters, what's true, and what they're trying to accomplish. And when you don't have that, data becomes a weapon, not a tool. Exactly. You see it in meetings. One person pulls a number to prove growth, another pulls a number to prove risk, and suddenly you're not talking about the business anymore. You're debating whose spreadsheet wins. So if you're listening and thinking we have analytics, we have reports, we have dashboards, but decisions still feel chaotic, that's not a tooling issue. That's a system issue. Let's name 3 common traps. Trap 1, measuring everything, committing to nothing. If every metric is a priority, none of them are. Trap 2, confusing activity with progress. You can ship features, publish content, run campaigns, and still be drifting. Trap 3, treating intelligence as a final answer instead of a decision input. That last one matters. Business intelligence always feels like it should remove uncertainty. But real leadership is choosing what to do while uncertainty remains.
So what's the fix? We use a simple translation chain: signal, meaning, choice, and execution. Signal is what the data shows. Meaning is what it implies about your situation. Choice is what you will do because of it. Execution is how you turn that choice into measurable movement.
Most organizations stop at signal. They've got the chart. They've got the trend line. But they never do the hard part, agreeing on meaning and committing to a choice.
Let's make it concrete. Imagine your customer retention fell by 3 points. That's the signal. Now meaning depends on context. Is this seasonal? Is it cohort specific? Is it a product change? Is it a service issue? You need a short list of plausible explanations, not an endless brainstorm.
And this is where leadership psychology sneaks in. People tend to prefer explanations that protect their identity. The product team might blame sales. Sales might blame onboarding. Operations might blame customer expectations. If you don't manage that dynamic, the meeting becomes political.
So here's a practical move. Separate interpretation from ownership. Ask, what are the top 3 plausible drivers, before you ask, which team needs to fix it? That one change reduces defensiveness and speeds up truth.
Okay, now we get to strategy. Because a lot of people think strategy is a deck, or a slogan, or a set of goals. But strategy is really a set of choices under constraints.
Yes, strategy is what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, and the logic behind those decisions. And to translate intelligence into strategy, you need a structure that forces clarity. Here's a framework you can use immediately. We'll call it the D.I.R.E.C.T method. Define the outcome, identify the critical drivers, reduce uncertainty with focused intelligence, establish the strategic choices, commit resources, track leading indicators.
Let's go through it fast, but practical. Define the outcome means you don't just say grow revenue. You specify what growth looks like and by when. Like, increase mid-market annual recurring revenue by 15% in 2 quarters while keeping churn under X.
Then identify the critical drivers. If that outcome moves, what must be true? Is it pipeline volume, conversion rates, expansion revenue, activation, pricing? The point is to limit it to the handful of drivers that actually steer the result.
Next, reduce uncertainty with focus intelligence. This is where BI becomes strategic. You're not asking, what do we know? You're asking, what do we need to know to choose well? That could be competitive moves, customer segments shifting, cost volatility, or internal capacity limits.
And then establish the strategic choices. Not a gigantic list. Choices. For example, we will prioritize retention over acquisition for 60 days. Or, we will narrow our ideal customer profile to 2 segments. Or, we will shift from custom work to a productized offering.
Commit resources is where most strategies quietly die. Because if you don't assign owners budgets and trade-offs, you don't have a strategy. You have a wish.
And finally, track leading indicators. This is how you know quickly whether you're on track without waiting for the final outcome. If revenue is the destination, leading indicators are the road signs.
Let's give examples. If your strategy is to improve retention, leading indicators might include customer health score movement, support ticket volume by category, onboarding completion rates, time to value, and product usage frequency for key features.
Right, and the trick is to choose indicators that are both predictive and controllable. Predictive means they change before the result changes. Controllable means a team can actually influence them. Otherwise, you're just watching a storm.
Now, let's talk about leadership in complex markets. Because you can have the best framework and still fail if the organization can't act on it.
There are 3 leadership behaviors that consistently increase decision quality. First, clarity of intent. People need to understand the why behind choices so they can make aligned decisions without waiting for permission. Second, psychological safety with standards. Teams must be able to surface bad news early, but they also need accountability for outcomes. Third, fast learning loops.
Fast learning loops are underrated. In uncertain markets, the leader's job isn't to be right. It's to shorten the time between action and learning.
And this is where business intelligence should evolve. BI isn't just reporting. It's the nervous system of the organization. It senses changes, flags risks, and helps the company adapt while competitors are still debating last month's numbers.
Here's a common mistake. Teams use monthly reporting cycles for environments that change weekly. If your market moves fast, your intelligence cadence has to match the tempo.
So how do you do that without drowning in meetings and dashboards? You standardize the questions. Instead of reviewing everything, you review what matters. For example, what changed since last week? What are we seeing early? What decision does this require? And what will we test next?
That's a big shift. It turns BI into decision support, not trivia night.
Let's give listeners a quick, ready-to-use playbook they can try this week. If you run a team or advise a team, try a 30-minute direction review. Start with the outcome you're driving. Then pick 3 leading indicators. Spend 10 minutes on what changed and why. Spend 10 minutes deciding what you will do differently this week. Spend 10 minutes assigning ownership and defining what you'll measure next time. If the meeting doesn't produce a decision or a test, it's not a direction review. It's just a status update.
And here's my favorite question to ask at the end. What do we decide not to do? Because that's where strategy shows up. Trade-offs.
Before we wrap, let's address the executives listening who feel pressure to appear certain. You don't need to perform certainty. You need to lead with coherence. Coherence is saying, here's what we believe, here's what we know, here's what we're testing, and here's what will change if the evidence shifts.
That posture builds trust. People can handle uncertainty. What they can't handle is confusion.
So here's your takeaway in one sentence. Intelligence becomes strategy when it produces clear choices, funded commitments, and measurable leading indicators.
If you want to put this into action, pick one business outcome. Identify the few drivers that matter most and build a short decision cadence around them. You'll be shocked how fast the noise drops.
That's it for today's episode of the BI channel, powered by B.I.M Corporation. Next time, We'll go deeper into building decision systems that scale, so your organization can move faster without losing alignment. Until then, keep your data honest, your strategy focused, and your learning loop short.